Hello everyone, thanks for joining us today and welcome to this presentation of the power of the buy-sell line. Now this promises to be a great webinar this morning. I'm going to share with you a tool that I've been using close to 4 decades now that I really believe is one of the main parts, main features that has been able to sustain me for 4 decades of trading. Let me show you what I mean here. Let's look at these examples. First of all, in Fossil, F-O-S-L. Now this is the way most traders trade, myself included when I first began some 4 decades ago. You'd see a stock come straight down, have a very steep downtrend, and you'd say to yourself, well, you know, the guys I follow say there's major support here. This is where all the institutions are buying. After all, we have a double bottom there. The volume has picked up to the buy side, and we've hit major Fibonacci support. So you decide to jump on in and buy, and then this happens immediately after you step in. Does that look familiar? Or it could be something as similar as this. We see the QQQs, an older chart here this past year, going straight up, and then they're met with a really strong candlestick pattern that tells you that should be a sell signal. So after all, you've been going straight up for the past 2 months. You want to sell, but it doesn't really go down. But that's okay because you get another sell signal, and this new top has not been confirmed. So you decide to double up, and you really think you're going to have a really nice profit here because nothing has been confirmed technically. All the fundamentals are bad for the market to be going higher, and look what happens, okay? Well, what if there was a tool that could automatically put you on the right side of the market? You see, so many times traders are buying when they should be selling and vice versa. But what if there were a tool, a simple but highly consistent tool that could put you on the right side automatically? Well, that's what we're going to be speaking today. So welcome once again. This promises to be a great presentation. My name is Steven Primo. I'm the president and founder of Specialist Trading. And this is a tool that I said I would not be caught trading without it. I was introduced to this some 40 years ago, and I really feel that it is at the very foundation that has been able to sustain my trading for the last 40 years. Now, I started my career on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange. I was on the floor for 16 years. 9 of those years I was a specialist. A specialist just means that you made markets in roughly about 50 stocks. So I made markets during the crash of 1987 and the bull market that followed. I've been involved in just about every scenario you can think of. Straight up markets, straight down markets, sideways markets. I've traded just about every system or strategy you can think of. So I know what works, and I know the tools that work in terms of consistency. And I know what doesn't work in terms of consistency. So this is what we do. About 8 years ago, I teamed up with ProTrader Strategies. And all we do is mentor and teach our students around the world in over 110 countries and in virtually every state of the United States, all the things that I currently use in my own trading and that I've shown to have this consistency throughout the time and that really have a nice level of consistency. So this is what we do. We teach you so that you'll be able to make your own trading decisions based off these techniques and tools. Now, as I stated, this promises to be a great presentation because you can start using this tool as early as Monday if you'd like. But before we begin, we are required to show you this, so please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to show you a lot of performance results using the buy-sell line, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. So as I stated, we're required to show you this prior to every and any webinar we give. So as you're taking a brief moment to view the disclaimer, I would also like to take this time to invite each and every one of you to follow us on Twitter. Now, every day I post different information, anywhere from signals that our strategies have generated to little bits of wisdom along the way. So feel free to follow us on Twitter. You may want to copy down our handle right there. It's abbreviation for Specialist Trading at SPCLST-TRADG. Okay, so as I stated, we are an educational company, and the reason why we are and focus so much on educating people is because it's my belief that the reason why most traders fail is because they haven't been supplied with the proper education. Most of us are supplied with the proper $10,000 system or perfect indicator, and then the minute we start using it, it doesn't work. Trust me, I know what this is like because when I first started trading some 40 years ago, I went through the same process. And I failed miserably. I mean, I tried everything that was supposed to work. I went to all the classes. I read all the books. And nothing worked in terms of consistency. So I was lucky enough to have some mentors on the floor who were specialists themselves. They saw how much I was struggling, and they turned my way of trading around by teaching me the same things that I teach all of my students. So as you see here, my goal is not to force feed you signals. My goal is not to tell you the perfect market or time frame to trade, but my goal is to teach you how to trade with a specialist edge. This is the same edge that turned my trading around some 40 years ago. Hopefully, it will be able to turn your trading around as well. Now, since this is an educational presentation, I love to take questions. I want to answer each and every one of them, but can you kindly wait till the end of the presentation so this doesn't turn into a 4-hour webinar. We'll go through the slides, and then if you do have any questions, write them down and try to remember them, and I promise I'll answer each and every one of them, but at the very end of class, okay? Now, the only question I will answer is the most common, and that is this being recorded? Yes, it is. We record all of our webinars, so if you have to leave early or if you're having technical difficulties, contact ProTrader Strategies. They will send you a link to this recording, okay? But if you happen to join us late, we have a good crowd here today. Remember to ask the questions at the very end. All right, so let's begin. What exactly is the buy-sell line? Now, you've attended my presentations before. I've spoken about this many times, but we have a lot of new people attending today around the world in the United States, and a lot of you, I'm sure, are not familiar with the buy-sell line is. Well, it's not some convoluted indicator that has this very, very complicated formula that you have to figure out, or it's proprietary. It's really simple. And all it is the 50-period simple moving average. Now remember, the title of this presentation is the power of the buy-sell line. I'm going to show you how powerful it is. The reason why most people fail to apply the 50-period moving average is because they apply it incorrectly, and then when they don't get the results they want, they discard it. But let me show you the correct way to use it, because in order to use the buy-sell line properly, all you have to do is ask yourself this question before each trade, before you pull the trigger. But you must ask yourself this question: where is price in relation to the buy-sell line? Okay? I'm going to say that again. This is how important this is. Where is price in relation to the buy-sell line? In fact, this is so important that I would almost suggest copying that down, that phrase down, putting it on a post-it and placing it on top of your computer screen, because this is where most students and members make the mistake. Because if you ask yourself this question before you pull the trigger, regardless of what strategy, what technique you're trading, you're only going to come up with two possible scenarios. If price is above the buy-sell line, then you're only going to be looking to buy. This means you're not going to buy at the market. It just simply means that the only signals you should be looking for are buy signals. Regardless of method, regardless of strategy, it makes no difference. And if price is below, the only signals you will be looking for are sell signals. It's that simple. But people fail to make this simple choice, and they usually do the opposite. They're usually buying below the 50-period simple moving average and selling above. Let me show you what I mean here. We'll show you how important the buy-sell line is. I know it sounds extremely simple and extremely, very common, but I thought the same way too when it was introduced to me 40 years ago. But let me show you how important this is. Let's look back at our original charts here in Fossil. And remember, we wanted to buy right here. After all the indicators that you probably watch are tremendously oversold. The stock has dropped too quickly, too much. We've got major support here, so you've got to buy it, right? And that chat room you go to is probably saying you've got to buy this stock. Well, forget all of that nonsense. That's what my mentors taught me. This is all useless noise. The only thing you have to do is apply the buy-sell line, the 50-period simple moving average, and then ask yourself, where is price in relation to that? Price is below. So do we buy anything below the 50-period moving average? Never, absolutely not. And that would have saved you a lot of trouble and most especially a lot of money, okay? The same instance will work the other way. Remember, we wanted to go long the QQQs. We got two really valid sell signals here. Let's say the trading room you were in said the market is way too toppy. You've got to get out of this right now before it comes down to a 50% retracement. It's much better if you look for that pullback, and we're due for a pullback. All the reasons you can think of. Okay, so you sell, and the only thing you didn't do was plot the buy-sell line. And where is price in relation to the buy-sell line? Price is above. So should you be buying or should you be selling above? No, you should only be looking to buy. And that's why you should never sell, but only look to buy. Now, does this work 100% of the time? No, there's nothing in trading that works 100% of the time. Trust me, I've been trading for 4 decades. I've never seen anything that works every time. So therefore, Don't go pursuing some, magic system or some magic trading method or the holy grail. It doesn't exist. The only thing you should be looking for and searching for is consistency, because consistency is what will sustain you. It's all about longevity. That's the true meaning of success. So is this very consistent? Yes, it is. Now, every once in a while, you'll see a great short that's above the buy-sell line or a tremendous buy that's below. But we're not looking for home runs. We're looking for singles, because singles will sustain you. So the secret to trading success is to never go long below the buy-sell line and to never sell short above. You should be doing the opposite. Now, it sounds simple, right? I mean, it can't get any simpler than that. You can start using that, and I would suggest right now or after this presentation to go back and look at your last 10, 20 trades. I can almost guarantee you, I can almost assure you that the reason why you had some losses was because you did the opposite. You were buying below the 50 period or you were selling above the buy-sell line. Now, traders know this. After they go to my webinars, they go, boy, I did the research and Steve's right. It does work in terms of consistency. And remember, it makes no difference what method you're trading, what strategy you're trading. You can apply anything to this, even fundamental news. If you get a good earnings report or something, but it's below the 50-period moving average, don't take it. And it doesn't matter what technique you're trading with. All that matters is you want to be in sync with the buy-sell line. Now, having said that, showing you how simple it is, traders still have a difficult time. I know there's something in our DNA where it's difficult for us to change and for us to follow it religiously. It's difficult for traders to change, especially after they've been doing something for a while. I've spent so many times with traders, and they've told me, boy, Steve, this is the greatest thing in the world. And then I'll talk to them about 6 months later, and they'll tell me about a series of losses they've had. And I've said, well, are you in sync with the buy-sell line? And they go, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. So we've got to make it easy for you so that you can follow the buy-sell line. And guess what? We have with our new PTS Primo charts. We make it simple, and it's the trading educational portal you've been searching for. Let me show you how simple it is to apply the buy-sell line once you are using our new PTS Primo Charting Platform. We have different features. So in other words, if it's difficult for you to have a 50-period moving average always plotted, you're used to a 20-period or an exponential or a weighted type of moving average. Well, guess what? We have different ways for you to use it so it doesn't clutter up your screen, or so that you automatically know you should be looking for only buys or looking for only sells. Here's our background feature, okay? Now, once you go to the platform, all you have to do is click on the buy-sell line tab in the upper left-hand corner. And we're looking at Fossil once again after it's gone way down. How could we have known to get out somewhere around here, okay? Well, you click on buy-sell line, and once you do that, a drop-down menu will appear. Now, obviously, you can just simply place the 50-period simple moving average, or you could use our background feature. Now, that will automatically color the back of your screen either blue or red. Now, the way we tell our students to remember this is blue sky at night, trader's delight, meaning there's higher prices in sight. But red sky at morning, trader take warning, meaning there's lower prices to come. So once you know that you've had a consistent number below or with a background of reddish orange, you would have been out well in advance of the strong move to the downside, okay? Let's apply it to the upside. Remember the QQQs, the ETF or the NASDAQ went straight up. How could we have known in advance not to be shorting this? Well, you just click on the background feature, and we would have known well back here, well before we started to go higher, that we have been blue the entire time. Remember, blue sky at night, trader's delight. So if you see a blue background, you know that you're only going to be looking to buy. We're not trying to tell you how to trade. We're just trying to tell you what side to be on. Remember, we have a tool for you that automatically gives you that consistency on being on the right side of the market. Now, we also have another feature. It's called our color ribbon. A lot of people say, well, Steve, I like this, and I like the idea of colors, but I don't want to clutter up my screen because many times I like to write things or look at the arrows, and those colors kind of, get in my way. Okay, so we make it simpler for you. You can keep your screen whatever you like, the color you like. In this case, we've chosen a white background. We hit the buy-sell line feature again, and this time we click on color ribbon. Now it's the exact same thing, but instead of having the background, you'll just have a color bar ribbon at the very bottom of your screen. So this way you can keep it free. If you're going short, you would know right here, the same place that you are in a negative mode, and the same place if you're going long, you would have seen that you are positive the entire time. This way your screen is cleared up. You can leave it free to write things, to post up and down arrows, or to have different indicators if you'd like, all right? But here's what I'm the most excited about. We have a brand new feature called the fluid feature. This is, we've gotten so much positive feedback on this from our students around the world because it really helps you find out what the overall momentum is. But at the same time, the beauty of the buy-sell line is that it not only tells you the overall direction of the market you're trading, but the momentum of that market as well. So now you know the strength of the buy-sell line. Let me show you what I mean here. We'll look back at Fossil once again, and we click on the buy-sell line tab at the upper top of our PTS Primo charts, and we come down to the bottom, the fluid feature, all right? Automatically, we have the buy-sell line, which is a 50-period moving average, but anything below is colored red and anything above is colored blue. Now, what's so great about this is that since we can see the slope of the 50-period moving average, that automatically tells us that we're in a very strong momentous move to the downside. So this automatically tells us the momentum because we've moved from kind of a sideways downward slope to a very strong, almost 45-degree downward slope. At the same time, it tells us we have an advance warning when we will be going back into positive mode. So we have these two extra features added in. We have the downward slope, and then we know what we have to cross above in order to get to the positive mode. All right, we can use the same way to the upside. Now we just simply click on the buy-sell line, click on fluid feature, and there's a strong upward slope. You see how strong this momentum was? So that's automatically telling us that, this is very, a nice volatility to the upside. Any strategy you work here to go long will probably work very well, and that you should definitely not be selling because you have a strong upward move. Now, we all know that we have had some nice sell-offs lately, but when this slide was taken, we were very far away. We're still not below that yet with the current move in the markets. So let's look at some current examples and we can get a better idea of exactly how to apply the fluid feature because, as I stated, this is very new and we have a lot of positive feedback, and it really helps a lot of our members see, once again, the momentum of the trend as well as when it's going to be changing over. All right, we're looking at IBM right now, and IBM has had a very sustained downward move, okay? An unbelievably strong move to the downside. Looking back here in March and April, we would have known as far back as here, okay, well in advance, that once we crossed over, even though we were slanting upwards, we just couldn't get through it. We chose not to go back up to the blue, and so the price was having a very difficult time after a sustained amount of closes below. This was the market telling you, not some guy in a chat room, not some guy on TV, or not some convoluted master system, but the market's telling you, you know what, I can't seem to break back up there. You might as well look to sell whatever you're long, or at least go short, because as you can see later on, we had a very strong move to the downside, okay? Remember, this was all given to you in advance. This was roughly about the $175 mark, and now it's in the 140s. Now, as we look here, we have a very strong downward slope. We try to get through it. You see, we try to push through it. It gave it a couple of nice tries, but it still couldn't do it because of the nice, strong downward slope. How about Facebook? Well, this is a weekly chart of Facebook. Do you think this could have helped you trade, knowing that you had a very strong upward momentum, almost 90-degree angle in the buy-sell line, as well as price is consistently, since 2013 on a weekly time frame, has been above the buy-sell line? I mean, why would you ever think of selling this? And look at the consistency here of how many times we would come back, touch the buy-sell line, and bounce off it. Touch it, bounce off it. This is what you'll see many times when you have a very, very strong upward movement in the buy-sell line. So just with the help of this one little tool, do you see how it could have helped you been on the right side of the market? Now, that's a weekly chart in Facebook. Let's go to a daily chart of CMG. Now, As you can see, from March all the way up until June, we were above the buy-sell line, telling us to go long. But here we crossed below it. And you would have had advanced warning, seeing that you were getting closer and closer. But as you see, we crossed below it, and we just couldn't break out above. We had a full week or two where we were below. This was your advanced warning telling you, well, we should be out of this stock. I know it's an expensive stock, but perhaps you wanted to purchase options. Maybe you were thinking about going long the calls or having some type of strategy to the upside in options. Well, the buy-sell line would have told you, no, we're most likely going lower. There's no reason for you to buy. In fact, you should be looking to buy puts because the stock went straight down after that, coming into this last week into August, okay? So when you well up in advance at the roughly $460 mark before it's dropped almost 150 points, do you think this could have helped you at all? Now let's look at an Apple chart, but this is a monthly chart. A lot of people have said, boy, I wish I would have known to gone long Apple. I mean, how, I always look at the earnings, or I didn't know about the new CEO, and I'm just not sure about their products coming out. To see how we overthink things, the only thing you have to look at is at the buy-sell line. The market is telling you what it wants to do, not some CEO or not some new product. The market will tell you, and as long as you are above the buy-sell line, you're only going to be a buyer of this. Now, obviously, you have to put some structure to it, which we also provide you with in terms of strategies or techniques. But going all the way back to 2009, you would have only been a buyer and still continue to be a buyer on a monthly time frame in Apple. There's absolutely no reason not to be buying this on the long term. And you can see we had a very, very strong upward slope all the way up until August of this year. Remember, this is a monthly time frame. Things are different on each and every different time frame. For example, let's look at a 15-minute chart of the QQQs. This was last week, okay? As you can see here, we had a really nice, strong upward move. We kind of came down there, bounced. But the second time we came down, did we bounce at all? Absolutely not. We had 3 or 4 closes below. So this is telling you, if you're a day trader, you're only going to be looking to short the QQQs on a 15-minute time frame. Once again, we had a nice bounce up here. We bounced up just very close to the moving average, and look what happened, okay? So even though you'll get these nice bounces, it's in your favor not to look to buy and pick bottoms where it may have worked right here. You said, but Steve, I could have bought. I had a really nice buy signal here. I could have taken advantage of that. Sure. But that worked one time. What about here? What if you had a buy signal here? Would it have worked? No. What about another one here? Would it have worked? Not really. So remember, it's all about consistency. You're not looking to pick every bottom and every top. That's a gambling mentality. And over time, that won't work. You'll have nothing to show for it. What we're trying to instill in all of our members around the world and all of our students is consistency, because consistency is what's going to make you be trading 10, 20, 30 years down the road. Not some fly-by-night system that works 1 year, but then gives it all back the very next. So this was a 15-minute chart of the QQQs. How about an hourly chart of the spiders, okay? This is going back to, once again, last week in August. We were above the buy-sell line, but at this point, we crossed below it, and then the next day on an hourly basis, we just couldn't seem to get back above. Even though we were trying to, we just couldn't do it. We bounced back up, touched the buy-sell line, and then look what happened. This is when the market fell out of bed. That's on an hourly time frame. So it makes no difference what market you're trading, makes no difference what time frame you're trading. The buy-sell line can be applied to anything. Now here's a monthly chart of GLD. That's the ETF for gold. Okay, a lot of people are concerned right now with what's going on in the world and the uncertainty. Okay, do we need to figure out fundamentally what's going on and all this cross geopolitical stuff and all the fundamentals? No. The only thing we need to do, if we're interested in gold, is look at the buy-sell line if we should be buying or selling. Now, from 2013, January, all the way up until now, we've been consistently below the buy-sell line on a monthly basis. But if you look at gold, the ETF for gold, GLD, we have been very, interestingly pushing against this buy-sell line. Do we have enough proof that gold is going much higher? Not yet, but we'd like to see where this month finishes. I'd like to see a strong close to the upside, and that would give me the, not so much proof, because this is not 100% sure proof, but it would give me the confidence to say, you know what, on a long-term basis, I think I'm going to go long gold. because we've closed for about 3 or 4 months above the buy-sell line, and we haven't taken off yet. Now, does the buy-sell line predict how high or how low something will go? Absolutely not. Remember, it's just a tool to tell you automatically what side of the market you should be on. Now, a lot of people say, okay, Steve, this is all well and good, but what about news, okay? Oftentimes, I have a great idea, and then a news event comes out, and I'm wiped out. I'm on the wrong side. Well, as I stated earlier, this is not 100% foolproof, but it's about consistency. All right, we're trying to use techniques and methods that have shown consistency over the years. And this is one of the most consistent things that I've ever seen in the face of news, because oftentimes it will get you on the right side of a market prior to a news event. Let me show you what I mean here. This came out last week on Yahoo Finance about J.C. Penney. J.C. Penney company stock collapses on weak second quarter earnings, okay? The stock fell by more than 60% on Friday after the company's second quarter earnings report released before the opening bell. The department store chain lost more than 9 cents per share for the quarter, more than double the 4-cent loss that Wall Street had expected. So obviously this is bad news, right? This is the way most traders trade. They'll see this news, they'll go, oh boy, that's terrible. If I'm long JCPenney, I should sell because the company's in really bad shape. Or they'll say, well, I guess I should look to sell that, or maybe I'll look to go short, or maybe I'll look maybe for a buying opportunity because it's so low. Okay, these are all the things why traders lose money. They're trying to second guess. They're a day late and a dollar short, and they're usually on the wrong side. Let's look at JCPenney stock with the fluid feature of the buy-sell line applied on a monthly time frame. As you can see here, this is where the news came out this past week or so. Okay. The stock's down in the $3 or $4 range. But going all the way back, we knew as far back as here, this was in 2012, to exit the stock. If you were already long, to get out of the stock roughly around the $25, $26 level. Okay, don't you think this could have helped you prior to the face of second quarter earnings for 2017? I mean, it's silly to wait for those things. The market, in my experience, in 40 years of trading, I have found out that the market is the only thing you should be listening to. Because most of the time, I'd say about 80–90% of the time, it tells you what it wants to do. But for some reason, we've never been trained to listen to it. We're always trained to listen to some analyst, some economist, some guy in a chat room, some convoluted indicator. These are the things that are supposed to tell us how to trade. But we never listen to the thing we're trading, which is the source, which is the stock. So the buy-sell line is a great translator for telling us what the market wants to do. It tells us if it wants to go higher or if it wants to go lower. All we have to do after that is just trade in that direction. That's how simple it is, okay? Now let's look at a different market. Here's a 10-minute chart of the EMini. This was last week. I remember when the market fell out of bed, a lot of people were really surprised, thinking, wow, I think there was a lot of concern about possibly going to war or what was going on with Korea. And we never really follow fundamental news. I tell my students, listen, you can if you'd like to, but everything you need to know is in the chart in front of you. For example, right here, if you're intraday trading the EMini futures, you knew well in advance to only be short the market. Why? Because price is below the buy-sell line, okay? And then once we really started heading lower, look at the slope of the buy-sell line, okay? Now, the day after that, when things seemed to have cooled down and it didn't look as if we were going to war, everyone got all bullish and everything, well, we knew in advance that we were going higher because price had already crossed up above. The same time frame, the same 10-minute time frame, but now look at the slope of the buy-sell line, and where is price in relation to the buy-sell line? Price is above, so we're not going to short anything. And look how we just touched there and went straight up, okay? Now we can also apply this to currency pairs. Here's a daily chart of the Australian dollar. Now from April to June, you should have only been selling the Australian dollar or only been on the sideline, not trading at all, because we were in the red zone, or red sky at morning, trader take warning. In this case, currency trader. But once we crossed above, we had consistent closes above in early June. Well, that was your key to look for setups, regardless of what strategy, regardless of what method you're using, but they should only be buy setups now. And you could have taken advantage of this nice run coming up into August in the Australian dollar. Now, obviously, looking back, there's all these reasons why the Australian dollar has gone up. There's all these economic reasons, all these fundamental reasons. Once again, they're usually a day late or a dollar short. Wouldn't you like to know from the source telling you it's going to go higher? Well, it was telling you in June. Now that's on a daily chart. If we want to intraday trade, we can look at the dollar yen. Okay, now this was once again last week in August. Very strong downward sloping move in the buy-sell line. And at this time, the only thing you should have been doing was selling. Now, obviously, there were some nice bottoms made here, but the odds are in your favor if you're just in sync with the overall trend as opposed to trying to fight it. Now, once we got to this point where we had consecutive closes above, now it's telling us to go long. And this is on an hourly time frame. So it makes no difference which direction, which market, or which time frame. Now, before we go into question and answers, I'd like to ask you a question. Ask yourself honestly, do you think this edge could have helped your trading this past year? As I stated at the very beginning of the presentation, go back, look at your last 10, 20, 30 trades, apply a 50-period moving average, and I can almost guarantee you that the majority of your losses were because you were out of sync with this simple rule. I don't care what system you're trading. I don't care what time frame you trade. I don't care what market you trade. It makes no difference. That's the beauty of the buy-sell line, and you've just seen how powerful it is. Now, here's the special we have for all of our attendees today for taking time out of your Saturday morning to join us. We're going to offer you our new platform. This is teaching traders how to trade. And guess what? It's only going to be $7. We're going to give you a 30-day trial with only $7, but it comes with all of these great features, including the buy-sell line features we just talked about. Let me show you what's going to be offered in this $7 deal. Obviously, you're going to get the enhanced buy-sell line. You're going to get the four different options. You can either just use a 50-period moving average, or you can use all the different features, the color background features. It's up to you. It automatically will change the background or the bottom with the color band ribbon of the chart, so there's nothing you have to do. You automatically know whatever market, whatever time frame, you should be trading which side of the market. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to give you a strategy. This is one of our best continuation strategies. Strategy number 3A. We've had, in fact, I got an email, and I'm only saying this because I got the email yesterday from a member who's on a consistent basis intraday trading this, making thousands of dollars a week trading this because of the momentum and because of the way he likes to trade it. And he just started becoming a member of this just about a month ago. It's unbelievable, and I'm not promising that to anyone, but this is the beauty of trading strategy number 3A. Let me show you some examples of this. As you can see, we have our buy-sell line plotted. These are actual signals that were generated and that you will get for free on the charting platform, where you automatically know where the sells should be. This is Snap, and a lot of people were saying, boy, they're so surprised how this stock has just fallen out of bed, how it didn't live up to its expectations. Well, we knew well in advance, well up here around the 2021 level, that it was going lower. Why? Because it was closing below the buy-sell line. And now with strategy 3A, which you will get all the rules and all the up and down arrows, the automatic arrows here, you can take advantage of the signals. Now this will work to the upside as well. EL, this was, I believe, on Friday, one of the top gainers of the week. As you can see here, this was what happened on Friday. The stock went straight up. Well, coming into August, a buy signal was generated using strategy 3A. So you could have taken advantage of this. Now this is just not for stocks. It's just not for daily bars. Here's an intraday bar yesterday of the EMinis on a 5-minute time frame. And we have just plotted the color band ribbon on the bottom. So if you'd like to keep your screen empty for posting arrows and things like that, that's fine. You don't have to use the color background if you don't want to. It will still generate the arrows and it will tell you to go short. This was just this last day or so. And it was a 5-minute chart in the EMini when the market was falling out of bed. You're going to get all the rules and all the buy and sell indications with trading strategy 3A for the next month. But we're not stopping there. We're also going to throw in the strategy signal scanner. We have a scanner that's so simple to use. So let's say you're not able to come in front of your chart every day and intraday trade. You come home from work at night, you simply click on whatever markets you're looking at. We furnish you with all the different indexes, NASDAQ 100, S&P 500, ETFs, different things you want to be looking at. Could be your own portfolio. And then we do a nightly scan that will automatically scan for these features for you, so you know what to look for the next day, how to enter your orders. And we're also including steps. This is steps 1 and steps number 2. This is a great feature. It's our proprietary entry technique feature. A lot of our students, they say, Steve, you know what? I have a method already that works pretty good. I like it already, and there's nothing really I need to change other than my entries are not that good. Sometimes I get in a little bit too early. Other times I get in too late. Well, steps we really feel will add to that consistency to whatever method you're trading, because it's just one piece of the puzzle. It's a proprietary entry technique that we feel so strongly will increase your odds for success because it gives you the right time to enter. You can apply it to any method, any technique, and we're including this with the $7 trial of the Primo PTS charts, okay? Now, this comes also with 90 technical indicators. These are the standard indicators, so if you like to tinker under the hood, if you like to experiment with different things technically, it comes with different indicators, not just our own proprietary things that we've accumulated over the years, but also with the standard 90 technical indicators. Now, we know that this kind of has a technical bias. If you're more of a fundamental trader and you say, well, Steve, this is good, I like this, but I also like fundamental news. I'm the kind of guy that likes to make decisions based off news. Well, we're also throwing in Bloomberg TV. We have a special media page on the platform that would allow you to look at Bloomberg TV live. So as you see here, all you have to do is click on the media page, and there is live Bloomberg coming in. It can tell you what's going on worldly with all the different reports and all the different techniques involved with Bloomberg. So that's for all the fundamental news you like. And then lastly, we're throwing in personalized tech support. So if you ever have a question, if there's ever something that you're not sure how to use or how to upload or how to click on a strategy, it's right there in front of you, and we have the tech support. We can help you in a matter of moments and clear up any issues that you may have. This is all going to be yours for only $7, okay? Now, finally, the trading educational portal you've been searching for. As you see here, you can apply our portal and our platform any way you'd like. You can use the background colors, you can use the fluid buy-sell line, you can have a blank screen chart if you like. It makes no difference, but we have all this for you and offered so that you can make your own trading decisions. Remember, this is a 30-day trial for only $7. We're just trying to show you in good faith that we want to have you come along on board as a member and as a student of mine, and so that you'll be able to eventually say, you know, this is great, this has really helped my trading. After 30 days, I've seen how much it increased my consistency. I want to come on board with maybe a strategy or maybe some mentoring. So here's how to take advantage of this. Contact my sister site, which is Pro Trader Strategies. They market and promote all of my different courses, all of our different platform discounts. You can email them or call them directly. What we would suggest is simply going to the link as you see in the very bottom, but that's not a live link. We make it easy for you. We've posted a live link in the chat box. So all you have to do is just simply go to the chat box on the far right-hand corner of GoToWebinar, and they have a live link there that will automatically take you to the sign-up page for the $7 deal. You get the buy-sell line add-on, you get all this, all the different features, all the different ways to use the platform, as well as that strategy that generates automatic buy and sell arrows, okay? $7, I think you can't beat that deal. You saw all the information I gave you today. It's all going to be yours for the next 30 days for $7, okay? Now I'm going to leave all this information up here on the screen so that you can copy it down, but I would take advantage of this quickly before it goes back to the full price. And let me open up the question and answer box, and thanks for holding off on any questions. Let's see, there's a question here. Can you use this indicator for Australian shares? Yes, you can, Sam. That's a great question. We have members in Australia. I just spoke to a student who trades in Dubai today. Prior to this presentation, I was emailing him. We have Canadian market students. We also have people in India. It makes no difference. The tools and our strategies will work on anything that have some type of nice trend, okay? Then, you know, any market that goes sideways, regardless of where it's traded, what country, what time frame, is not going to produce maximum results. So anytime you have movement, all of our techniques work very, very well, okay? We've gotten some really nice feedback. Okay, let's see some more questions here. No, you don't have to use the buy-sell line in terms of the background. You can use all the different features, okay? So there's lots of different ways to use this. In other words, the buy-sell line, as we stated, is simply the 50-period moving average. But if if you're a lot of students, we have seen in the beginning of our courses, they'll forget to use it, or they just won't be adamant about it. They just, it's not enough. There's not enough a worry for them to think like, well, I'm on the right side. It really doesn't matter. But after they, we talk to them for a while, they forget to use it. They use it incorrectly. So what we're saying is that we've made it easy for you by simply coloring the background or coloring the bottom. So you don't have to think. There's no thinking on your part. You just see it right there, okay? Let's see, any other, people want to know what the cost is after 30 days. Remember, there's no obligation after 30 days, but I believe it's roughly around $95, $97 if you decide to stay on. But remember, that's up to you. We just want to get you, introduced to this, and we have so many students that start out with this $7 package, and then they're lifetime members. So we just want to say, this is our way of introducing ourselves. Check it out. We don't want to charge you an arm and a leg just to introduce ourselves. So we feel for $7, this is a great way to show you how much we devote to educating you. Now, remember, $7, you can't even go out to lunch for $7 for two people, okay? You can't even, I'm sure that most of you spent more than $7 yesterday in commission costs alone. So, $7, this is going to be used for 30 days, and you have all that access. You have a free strategy, you have the buy sell line features, you have steps. Steps is a great tool. I mean, some of our people just use it for steps as well, okay? So there's lots and lots of great ways to apply this, okay? People are asking, is this a web-based software or is it a download? It's a download, okay? We send you the link and you use your username and password. We supply you with that, and then you just download it, so it's yours. It's not web-based, okay? And yes, after 30 days, the price goes up to $97. But remember, that's your choice. I would say that the majority of our people who do this trial do decide to stay on with us because they see its value, and they see that even for $97, that's really inexpensive to get this real-time data and this real-time information, okay? Okay, so remember, once again, as we close here, we just want to state that the buy-sell line is extremely, extremely, extremely important. You should have that taped on your screen, on your with a Post-it or a piece of paper, saying where is price in relation to the buy-sell line. Okay, that's how important that is. If you don't want to put a Post-it on your trading screen, and you don't want to keep asking yourself that, well, guess what? We make it easy simply by using the PTS Primo charts. It's all there for you. We take all the work out for you, so you don't have to keep reminding yourself. It's all there. You can see the back of the screen or the bottom of the screen where you should be going long or going short, okay? A lot of people are saying, if we continue after 30 days, do we keep the free strategy? Yes, you do. You do keep the free strategy. So it's yours. It's in the features involved. So that strategy is yours. And you will continue to get the scanner. I mean, the scanner itself is so simple and so easy to use. All you have to do is look at whatever markets or list of stocks you're interested in, and then hit scan for whatever strategy or technique, and it automatically provides a list of the next day's buy and sells for that. Okay, so you don't have to be scanning through the S&P 500 each and every chart. It's really simple and really easy. $7, you really can't beat this. Okay. Let's see. Sam's asking, do you have to use stop loss when using buy sell line? Remember, a stop loss, Sam, is a piece of the puzzle for a trading strategy. In other words, a trading strategy tells you, one, where to buy. It tells you the setup where a signal has been generated. It tells you where to exit, and it tells you where to place your stop to protect yourself. Those are all the important pieces of the puzzle that you must have with a trading strategy, okay? The buy-sell line is not a trading strategy. Remember, we said this at the very beginning. It's simply a tool telling you with a high level of consistency what side of the market you should be on. Should you be a buyer or should you be a seller? Once you know what side you should be on, then you supply a strategy, okay? So remember, the buy-sell line is not a trading. Simply because you cross above that buy-sell line, it's not a strategy that says, okay, I guess I just buy at the market. Remember, it's telling you the side to be on, okay? Strategies provide you with stop losses. Strategies provide you with entry points, and strategies provide you with exit points, okay? This is just a great tool, but I've often said, if I were stranded on a desert isle and there was only one thing, one tool out of all the things I've accumulated in 4 decades, if there were only one thing I could use, it would be the buy-sell line, okay? That's how powerful this is, because it has saved me so much money, and it's helped make me so much money by getting me to be consistent with my trading. Why? Because I'm on the right side. I'm not buying when I should be selling, and I'm not selling when I should be buying. So that's how powerful it is. Remember, you can go test this right now, and you'll see how powerful it is on your own charting software just by applying the 50-period moving average, and then I'm sure you'll want to come over right away and get our new platform, okay? So please don't stop. You want to get this $7 deal, contact ProTrader Strategies. There's the link at the very bottom of the screen, but it's not a live link. If you look in the right-hand corner in the chat box, there is the live link. Just click that on. It will take you to the sign-up page, and you can be up and running in just a matter of moments. You can be looking at at your screens right now with the different features, okay? As we conclude, I want to say thank you once again for taking time out of your Saturday morning to come join us. We really think you'll be pleasantly surprised and pleased with everything, all the different features we have to offer in this new platform edition. And we just want to say thank you, and I look forward to all of you becoming students of mine and members at Specialist Trading and ProTrader Strategies. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.